How you doing, guys? I want to introduce myself. My name is Brian Wyatt, and I'm the owner of Houston's Best Mobile Mechanic Service. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I've been saying for about a year that I was going to start a YouTube channel, and I was going to wait till I had all the 4K cameras and everything, and I really have some next level ideas. But I own a mobile mechanic service here in Houston, Texas, and I'm currently not the highest rated. I have a 4.4, but I have about 240 reviews. And it's a 4.4. It's really not that easy to do because the clientele that you get with mobile mechanic services, they want the best mechanic, the best parts, the best warranties, the best prices. Everything done as fast as possible. But I was sitting looking at toolboxes and thinking about some things I could do to clean up my shop, and I'm really looking at those new Icon toolboxes, man. They are player. And I thought it was going to be more like 15 grand, but I added it up, and they're only about 8 grand for 8 or 9 grand for a 72-inch toolbox that's 25 inches deep or 24 inches deep with 2 side cabinets and all kinds of other stuff. We are going to be doing some epic things on the channel. I've got a dealer friend who's building a Trackhawk, a 1200 horsepower Trackhawk. Might be making our own parts, or we're going to be doing a lot of... We're not just going to be doing all the LS swaps and all the stuff that everybody does. We'll probably be doing some of that stuff. For right now, it's just going to be, me or whoever my helpers are or whatever, just out in the field doing the mobile mechanic service thing. But what's going to make my channel next level is I'm probably going to be naming my channel. Well, I am going to name my channel Next Level Mobile Mechanic Services, because that's probably going to be the LLC that I get. Currently, I'm only operating under a DBA. It's just not really that big of a deal. But every time that I've had a truck, I've outgrown my truck. I have way more tools than most of the mobile mechanics. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or whatever. I'm a self-taught mobile mechanic, but I'm to the level where I can diagnose bad computers and be confident and tell the customer that the computer's bad, because I actually do all my powers and grounds, and then I check the integrity of the wires. So I'll do like amp draws or whatever to make sure, or use a light bulb or something to make sure that I'm not just seeing 12 volts at the wire. It'll actually carry current. But what I think is going to make my YouTube channel is my ambulance. I'm building an ambulance, and it's a 2004 E450 7.3 turbo diesel. I've already got a TS6 chip to put in it, and it's going to have about 400 horsepower, 400 or 500 foot-pounds of torque with just a chip. So I'll be rolling coal in an ambulance. I want to show you some of our projects. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around, and I was going to wait until my shop was all cleaned up and I've got all my my outfits made that everything matches, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and start with it. That way, by the time that I do everything and get proficient at editing the videos and all that other stuff, my business will have already taken off. As it is now, my phone blows up. But I'm trying to change my clientele to where, you call me if you want the best. Or to where hopefully I just end up going and doing like computer programming or something. That takes a lot of software and a lot of knowledge. And as a mechanic, I learn every day. I've been doing this for 13 years. And like I said, it's not easy to say in Houston, Texas, of all places, that I'm one of the highest rated ones. Nobody has even half the reviews that I do. Well, I'll take that back. I think one guy's got like 130. But if you look at and I've got like 2 something. If you look at a lot of the reviews with the other mobile mechanics, a lot of them are BS reviews. They went on Fiverr.com or something and bought their reviews. It'll say things like good products and services, but my reviews, the good ones and the bad ones, are all real. Anyway, so I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to give you a little tour of the shop, how horribly disastrous it is right now, and some of the projects we're going to be working on. Oh, can I not turn the camera now? That sucks. Hold them up, swell them up. Well, that sucks, because now I can't see what I'm recording. Okay, well, I'll just have to look at the video and see. this is my 1990 bagged square body Suburban. This truck was not flooded like people think. This truck just sat for a long time. A guy named Kirk Berry put a lot of money into it. A company here in Houston that's on TV called Extensive Metal Works. Everybody's heard of Bag and Bill all over the country. That's who built this truck. I sent them an email to see if they really built it. This is my current setup. Just a Tahoe. It's just a temporary truck. I actually traded for it. It's got like a, almost a, it's about 4,000 watts right now, 3,500 watts right now. But if I can maintain 18 volts, then I could actually pump 8,000 watts out of it. It's all sound cube. There's 215 HDX4s in there. We've got the shifter carts. Like I said, the Trackhawk. We're going to be taking this R1 right here. Here's one of the shifter carts. And like, if you look at a lot of the channels that I watch, like, Cletus McFarland or who else? I don't even know what's legal on YouTube. I know I can't do certain music or whatever, or any music. I don't know if I can mention other YouTube channels. I don't see why not. It seemed like it would be good for them. But anyway, a lot of people have done things where they put a little 1000cc or 600cc something on a go-kart. So this is going to be one of our first builds right here. A lot of these cars are mine. Well, all the projects are mine. A few of these cars are customers, but we're going to put the R1 motor on this, and hopefully I'll be able to just white smoke the tires in any gear, no matter how quick I'm going. I mean, it's going to be off the chain. My welder buddy, Austin Jones, is going to be the one doing all of our welding and fabricating. Got a locksmith on my team. I got some good people on my team, and I think we're going to be doing some next level stuff. I really shouldn't show anybody this shop, but it is what it is. I mean, everybody has to start somewhere. It's hot, that's why I'm sweating. But this is one of the other shifter carts. There's the tag cart, and that one we're probably going to be doing, like, we're just going to completely strip it down, everything. But this right here is the real deal Holyfield. This is my 2004 E450. Now, I don't know if y'all know, but ambulances were like 100 grand or 300 grand, or I don't know, a lot of money. Somebody told me 300 grand. I had no idea. Real quick, here's another car that I'm either going to be selling or will build out for content on the channel. This is I know it's all overkill and Fast and the Furious, but at a time, this car was something. And I contacted the original owner of this car, and he had like 10 grand in it. It's got a B16A swap. I forgot what the transmission is, but it's the SI transmission. This was originally an automatic. So, I mean, it looks like a beater. I mean, it's all in the eye of the beholder is the right word. But anyway, back to the ambulance. This is what's going to make it right here. So this is my 2004 E450. Like I said, it's got a 7.3 turbo diesel in it. I'm doing what an ambulance does already. I'm sure that I'm going to start an ambulance service truck trend because of what an ambulance does. It's incredible what these things do, and the reason why they're so expensive is this is what it takes to run an ambulance. So much like newer cars that all run on CAN bus systems, if you see just those few little wires right there is enough for all of these boxes to communicate with that master PCM. So that's a power module control, or PCM, ECM, ECU, whatever you want to call it. It's the main computer, and what it does is it talks to all these other modules. And I mean, this right here is like a $3,000 custom lock setup. I'll give a better tour later, but I'm actually going to start putting the ambulance together. Excuse me, it's hot. And I kind of wanted to show the before and after. So these right here are obviously LEDs, but they're not the little cheap LEDs that most people use. These are a little more expensive, and these LEDs are what's called addressable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the power off. Oh, there it's going. I think it's going to start doing something crazy here in a second. Well, it's doing something crazy over there, but I think it'll eventually find its way over here. Yeah, see? Most of them, you know, do a few different things, but they don't do all these different things right here. So these LEDs are what's called addressable. And what addressable LEDs do is I literally have to have a laptop or an Arduino, and I can come in and I can tell each individual LED how bright to be, how many times to flash, what pattern to run. I mean, it's going to take a lot of time, but everywhere you see this blue trim right here is going to be this stuff right here. And a lot of mistakes that people make when they install LEDs on anything is they just let the actual light show, and it looks stupid when you can see the light. It's supposed to be a diffuser, just like these are a diffuser. Anyway, these are going to be all the way around the ambulance, everywhere you can see. And then every single cabinet is going to have LEDs behind it, and so you'll just see the glow. The point is just it's going to be over the top. I don't know if I'm going to name the ambulance Overkill or the tilt deck trailer that I have that we're making power. So it'll have a winch system on it that'll allow it to pull the deck forwards and backwards. Anyway, so what's to know about this ambulance? I paid $4,900 for it. It's got 200 and something thousand miles on it, but that's nothing for a 7.3 Power Stroke. I've got a TS6 chip in it. Well, it's not installed yet, but I bought it, and I started removing the computer. I had some insurance things I had to deal with, and that's why I decided not to drive it for a while. I had a helper. It's so hot, so I'm going to try to give you the best tour I can. Let me start with the... So yeah, I'll tell you. So I got the ambulance. At first, I was not okay with the idea of driving a rapey van. I just didn't want to drive a white van. I'd rather drive a truck with a trailer or something. I just didn't want to drive a van. And then I decided, I said, okay, I'm gonna be okay with the idea to drive a van. Then I started looking at box trucks. Then one day on the side of the road, around Magnolia or Montgomery or something. Wow, you can get out of air just by talking. Anyway, I saw an ambulance, and it was built, I mean, I meant to say it was kind of beat up. It wasn't really beat up, but it was like almost green from being so dirty. It looked like they drug it out of a lake. And the dude wanted like $3,500 or $8,000 or something like that for it. It didn't run. I think it had a title, but that's about it. I mean, but anyway, I fell in love. I went inside and I fell in love with all the cabinets. And as a mobile mechanic, we have to carry a lot of tools. You know, back in the day, I used to, get the deposit from the customer or whatever and go rent the tools and have to take them back. And then I finally just started buying my own tools. Well, that shit takes up a lot of room. I'm going to try to bring probably most cars back to the shop. But what the ambulance is going to do is going to, I really think it's cool what all these little patterns that it already has in there. What the ambulance is going to do is it's going to allow me to, no matter how hot or how cold or whatever it is, this thing's got its own independent AC and heat that's independent from the cab. I can control all the lighting. And like I said, this all works through like a CAN bus network. So if I turn this off, well, it's not working 100% correctly because I messed up one of those computers. And the batteries are low. So it gets like Walmart bright, like department store bright in here. It's got a couple different settings. It's got an inverter, converter, and battery charger in it. That's the thermostat for the AC, which I'll make digital eventually. There's going to be my little work desk. I mean, who has a rolly chair in their work vehicle? So this will help keep me organized, make me work as fast as possible, and avoid taking most cars back to the shop. If the job's too hot and I just don't want to stand out there and just bang it out in the heat, then I can stop what I'm doing, come in the ambulance, look something up, cool down, whatever, and slowly get the job done. But it'll be way faster than dragging it back to the shop, doing the work at the shop, etc., etc. I'll have all my tools. I mean, obviously you see a press here. I'm gonna make it smaller because obviously you don't need all that. You know, your space is everything. I'll have a bench grinder in here, a vise. I mean, this table tilts up. Right here, there's probably going to be 412s in here. I mean, it'll be like a crazy epic sound system in here. This thing is just going to be so crazy over the top. I plan on putting a tow truck lift in the back. So instead of carrying a trailer like I do now, I'll just have a what's called a wheel lift on the back of a tow truck. I'll back up to the car. The little things will come out, pick it up, strap it down, put my safety chains, done deal, ready to go. I mean, I'll have the car in a towable position within like 2 minutes. Everything about a mobile mechanic is to be fast. We can't just sit there and milk the clock like people do in a shop. But this thing came with all the drawers in it. It was running and driving when I got it. The lady was like, oh, you're going to need to do a lot of wiring. But I found out why everything was not working is because from the master switch that's on the seat. But I mean, this thing's got all kinds, everything that's on. I can control the audio level from the front. I've got an exhaust fan, so if I were soldering something, doing some electrical work, and I mean, I've already got some awesome tools. I'll be able to reflow like the people that, you know, rebuild cell phones or whatever, and really just pull out the little integrated circuit, solder on a new one. I mean, this is going to be something else. And people who had it paid $10,000, $20,000. I forgot what they paid for it. They paid $2,000 or $3,000 to have the lights removed. To have the lights removed and these aluminum plugs put back in and welded up, which they did a shitty ass job. And then after that, they paid $2,000 or $3,000 to have the body work done to make it smooth. Then they painted it, and then they wrapped it. It was originally a company called Spring Lock and Key. The lady's husband passed away, so she just decided that she was going to sell it. All these compartments, when the batteries are charged, they have lights in them. I mean, dude, it's so insane over the top. The ability and I don't even know how to explain it, but it's going to make it really, really convenient for me and make my job a lot easier. And I mean, the customer is just automatically going to, you know, feel and trust that I know what I'm doing, or I wouldn't pull up in this. And like I said, way back in the day, an ambulance cost somebody like $100,000 or better. You know, this is a lot of technology and stuff in this. It was running and driving. So now we'll get to how it's all taken apart. It was running and driving. Drove it here. And this is the boost pressure sensor. I should have just scanned it myself, but I didn't. It was a diesel, so I wanted to take it to my buddy who owns Willett Performance. His name is Leslie Willett. He's in Conroe, Texas. That's his phone number. So now I'm going to start shameless plugging people. Anyway, and he put it on the scanner, and it was just a boost pressure sensor. And I guess, you know, if it doesn't read the amount of boost, then even though that the turbo is still spooling up, the fuel map is, you know, not as lean or whatever it needs to be, or as rich as it needs to be, because the boost pressure sensor is not telling the ECM how much boost pressure there is. So anyway, so we went and got a boost pressure sensor. He said, I think when you put the boost pressure sensor in and you feel the actual turbo, you'll be more happy, because it was like driving a turd. I mean, he said I was just basically driving it with no turbo. Even though that you heard the turbo, it wasn't making boost like it was supposed to. So anyway, this little plate right here is what holds the boost pressure sensor. So my helper at the time, we stopped somewhere to get a tool because I didn't have the right tool, the 1-inch, you know, socket or something. Yeah, because we went in this, we drove this. That's why we didn't have any tools. So we stopped at Home Depot. I wanted to put the sensor in as soon as I got it from Ford, see if it made a difference. And it's a brass fitting. He didn't know not to send it. And he sent it and busted it off in there. And then I tried to get it out with an easy out, and I broke the easy out in it. For a long time, Ford was trying to tell me that this plate is not available. It goes on the front of the timing cover. The plate is available, but that's what started. And in order to get this out, you got to remove a lot of shit. So once I had everything out, I just started putting a new water pump in it. I've got all brand new fuel lines, all brand new hoses, brand new exhaust. I mean, I figured if I'm going to be in here, fuck it. Then, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and replace anything and everything that's replaceable. But I mean, there's just so much storage space in here. Make it so easy to store anything and to keep everything organized. Anyway, as far as I really want to call her my bitch. I don't know, but I'm going to try to keep the channel, you know, somewhat family friendly as possible. It's probably going to be pretty hard for me because I'm kind of like a little, how do I explain it? It's hard to just come up with all this stuff and just record the video right then and there and then just press. All those people that are doing YouTube videos, they're just editing everything and retaking everything. My hat really, I tip my hat to some of those people, like the ones that are doing the rebuilds or whatever, or they're just showing what they're currently doing. They might make a mistake and they have to edit that out, and then they have to re-record the right information. So they're doing the job 2 or 3 times, not to mention the many countless hours. For now, I'm just going to straight raw dog it, and you know, just what you see is what you get. But anyway, I'm a little bit of a rough around the edges, kind of like Ascended Steve, kind of wild child guy. Anyway, so it's in my nature just to be a little bit ornery or cuss or whatever. But like I said, I'm going to try to keep it as clean as possible. I have some cool names. If y'all can think of a name for my ambulance, it might be Overkill. Because once I'm done with this thing, I will be able to hopefully have Alexa start it. That's my goal. I'm gonna get the best alarm that what's the name of that company? It's yellow. On all the boxes it's yellow. Dang it. Viper. I'm gonna get the best Viper, which I can remote start from anywhere that has a cell phone service, and I can turn it off. I mean, dude, all the things that an ambulance does, it's just, I mean, it's just so insane. This is the crazy lock system that it has. It has 2 separate batteries. So normally a lock is mechanical. You hit a solenoid, you know, when you hit your lock button or whatever, it moves something, locks it, and then it's at rest electrically or electronically until you reverse it and then open it. And then it does the opposite. But these are spring loaded, and the good part about that is if anything in that crazy system ever fails as far as the wires are concerned, or the relays or fuses or power, then it will automatically unlock the lock. And if it's just this wire, then it will automatically unlock this lock because it's not getting power anymore, because there's a relay, a crazy like 12-pin relay I've never even seen before. And if it loses any wire, any circuit goes bad in it, whether it's the magnetic switch that tells it the door's open or closed, this thing is crazy. Built like a tank. Anyway, shit, this is hard. So these are about 150 bucks a piece. This is why there's like SDC or something like that. And what I was telling you, it's like a $3,000 lock system, is because for every single door there is one of these. And the locksmith, you know, started installing all of them, ran all the wires, like put the magnetic sensors. Where most of the doors on here, it already tells me in the front cab whether a door is open or not. I have a light for compartment doors and which light it is. I mean, what an ambulance does is just stupid epic. But anyway, so the other 2 batteries that I have are just to feed power to these locks at all times. And obviously if the batteries die, they're spring loaded, so they will naturally retract, and I wouldn't get stuck, you know, trying to cut this door open, because that door is like 2.5 inches thick. I mean, it feels like a tank. I'm gonna have hot and cold water. I really want to put it on airbags just to make it stupid when I pull up. I mean, it's gonna have a system. It's crazy what an ambulance does. They've got a box in it where I can control. This is just what comes with an ambulance. I can control the RPM based on the electrical load that I'm using. This is the information center that shows, how much amps I'm pulling or what the battery is, the battery voltages are, whatever. I mean, dude, ambulances are crazy impressive. Crazy impressive. I'm sure a fire truck's way more impressive, but for a work vehicle, gangster. Off the chain. I mean, this thing's got aluminum all over it, LEDs. The lady told me I'd have to do some electrical because the wires were loose right there, but they were just wires that had never even been hooked up, and they were already capped off. But that's it. That's all I needed to do was flip the switch. They changed the mirrors on it, so it's got the big toe mirrors on it. An ambulance. Most ambulances are going to come with a little bit of performance upgrades as far as the suspension. So it's E450, so it's heavy duty, like heavy duty. I think they removed a lot of the flashers, but it's still got some modules in there. There's a little switch that I can do or something. I can take the keys out of the ignition, lock the truck, and leave the truck running. That way it keeps cold or whatever. And if anybody gets into the truck, as soon as you press the brake to try to take it out of gear, it's going to die. And then you won't be able to restart it. But I'll have like an amazing alarm system. If you touch it, I'm going to have it like back in the day, like, get the fuck away from my truck. Anyway, this is the new water pump. Like I said, in order to get to that thing, I had to remove so much stuff. And since I had already removed it, I was like, you know what, to hell with it. I'm just going to go ahead and replace everything. I was going to wait until I powder coated most pieces. I mean, this thing was going to look almost like a show truck. And anywhere you pop the hood, somebody asked me one time, can I install a supercharger? And it was some kind of Black Widow truck. I said, I've never done one before, but I'm sure I can do it. And I did it. I beat the time that the book calls for or whatever. So if they hear my crazy sound system in there, they're going to know that I can do 12-volt wiring. If they look inside of here and see everything's powder coated and it's just, I mean, dude, this thing is going to be off the chain. Super insane. I need a name for it. I was thinking overkill for my trailer, but really this is going to be overkill. I mean, there's not going to be very much stock left on it. I'm getting kind of like an Alcoa wheels for it. Dude, it's going to be badass. What told me that I needed to go ahead and start working on it is the other day I was talking to my friend Daniel about this, and I saw two little things about ambulances, and one of them I saw on Cletus McFarland's channel. They were talking about some new drift car when they got that Corvette or something like that. Well, they had an ambulance in the background that just had a bunch of flag, like, American flag, like the whole ambulance was wrapped like an American flag. So I'm pretty sure they're going to do something with an ambulance. I don't know if that's just, was over there for safety or whatever, but it didn't look occupied and I didn't see any safety people around. So they might be doing something with an ambulance. And if they do, that's going to be even cooler because I had my ambulance first. And if anybody doesn't believe that, you can just go look on my Facebook and see that I've been posting about this thing for about a year. I was going to wait until some other things were done, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and put it together the way it is now. That way it's not taking up my shop, and also so I can utilize it, and I'll just slowly start working through those things. And once I get, I'll just get new alternators or new water pumps or whatever, have all that stuff powder coated. And then once I have everything powder coated and ready to go, then I'll rip into it, tear it all down, put it all back together. I may even build some badass motor or transmission and put it together and then just install it in the ambulance once it's done. So I've got a lot of ideas. I think you guys are going to like the content on the channel. Really, I mean, just on a day-to-day basis, I do some kind of crazy epic shit. We're just racing shifter carts around all the time in the neighborhood. It's pretty fun. But anyway, here's the current condition of the shop. trying to think of any other major projects, but this is the first project, and I know this is all messy, but this is cleaning up. So I got a bunch of shifter carts, and they just took up more room and more room and more room, you know, and I was basically kind of supporting my habit by buying them cheaper and flipping them up to a better one, you know. So eventually I'd end up with a couple badass shifter carts, and I don't really have any money into it because I've already gotten my money back out of the ones that I had for sale. I can't think of anything else right now. Hopefully this video is not too long for Facebook, but I think for now that's it. And I'm just going to start recording the progress of the shop getting cleaned up and reorganized. I can't wait to see that 72-inch badass toolbox. I don't even have enough tools to fill it up, but it should be able to get almost everything off my walls or out of all the other little toolboxes that I have around here. I mean, dude, this is crazy. This shop will eventually have everything. I mean, I've already got hydraulic table that will pick up 2,500 pounds. It's on a foot pedal. We're going to make that wide enough to where a shifter cart can go on it, or a four-wheeler, lawnmower, whatever. And then I've got the motorcycle lift right here. Probably going to be doing some motorcycle builds. But if you guys got any good ideas, we'll be doing like unboxings and only for the stuff that I want. I'm not really going to do that for content. Like, I really believe in Milwaukee. I love their tools. Their electric tools are awesome. I like Gear Wrench. Who else? Sunex, and the one that starts with a T. That socket set's right here. What's it called? It's like a 5-letter word. It's crazy the way your instincts work. I bet it's a 5-letter word. 6-letter. Tecton. I think Harbor Freight has started tripping with that Icon stuff. I don't know how good it is, but I know it's way more expensive than Sunex and Tecton. And those both all come with badass blow molded cases. And, you know, you can get pretty much a full set of impacts for 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch for about $700-800. And I mean, it'll have every swivel socket, everything in there. Anyway, it is 1:57 in the morning. So I started today. All I really got to do was just start cleaning up my shop a little bit, and then just somebody else would come by. I was on the phone for a good 6 hours, you know, calling customers or calling for parts or doing this or doing that. And a lot of times I'm up late like this, cleaning up my shop or working on cars or whatever. So you're gonna see me grow from a little baby to fucking gangster beast. Anyway, guys, my name again is Brian with Houston's Best Mobile Mechanic Service. Thank you very much for watching. If you watched this all the way through, you know, I'm not looking forward to all you fools that are going to be talking a bunch of shit, but it is what it is. You know, I really respect and will appreciate the constructive criticism. And if anybody, you know, has got any quick, easy ways for me to learn how to edit, because there's no way that I can do mobile mechanics, you know, where I wake up, I handle all the business in the shop before I can even go outside and start working, come out, organize some stuff, or sometimes I'll leave to go get parts. Then I've got to go and do mobile diagnosis or some smaller jobs while I'm out. Then I come back to the shop, you know, it's somewhere between 8, 10, 11, 12, midnight. And then sometimes I get some more hours in. There's times that I work 40 hours straight. So I know I'm not going to have a lot of time for editing videos and any of that other stuff. So if y'all have any quick help, you know, so I don't have to take the 10 years or whatever that, you know, like Cletus McFarlane or some of those other guys have had to do, you know, to make their channel popular and to make the channel work for them. I'm not really going to be doing it for the money, just to get my name out there. You know, I can't wait for all these tool companies to call me and be like, hey, we've got this badass 1400 nut breaking torque, you know, impact. We're going to send it to you, give a review on it, and then keep the tool when you're done. I mean, that shit's pretty badass. But I do believe that, you know, you can use it to grow your business up to where, I mean, only the people that want the best are going to be the ones that call you, and it'll be a lot easier to turn down all the bullshit customers. Anyway, I'm going to go back and watch this video and shake my head and some of the dumb shit that I've said, but it is what it is. Everything's a learning process. Again, my name is Brian with Houston's Best Mobile Mechanic Service. Today is June 10th, 2020. This is when my YouTube channel starts. I'm fixing to go in right now and make my account and upload this video. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. We're going to be doing some badass road trips. I'm going to be doing giveaways, like all the other things that people have learned to do or had to have the time to build their channel to afford. I'm going to try to do a lot quicker. I really believe that ambulance idea is so far over the top. And when I originally got it, it wasn't to do a YouTube channel, because I had planned on doing a YouTube channel forever. But, I mean, instead of waiting for everything to be done, you can see everything while it's at its worst. I think a lot of y'all appreciate that when you see how far this place and all this other stuff comes in a year or a couple months or whatever. My shop is going to look like night and day, and I don't know, I'd say at least by the end of the year, but probably a couple of months. A friend of mine's about to let me use a forklift, and I've got a house upstairs that's about 3,500 square feet, and it's just framed out. Most of it's not finished, so I'm just going to use that as my storage space until I can get some containers and get a bunch of these other cars sold. I'm going to be doing all kinds of stuff, man, buying and selling cars. We might do some kind of epic like Hellcat rebuilds, or McLaren, or you know, a Tesla. We're going to do something. I'm just not sure what it is, but right now we're just going to try to get the channel rolling. But anyway, guys, again, thank you for watching. My name is Brian with Houston's Best Mobile Mechanic Service. Have a good night. God bless and peace.